Hey guys, Liquid here, and welcome to my next Q&A video. I would just like to remind everyone again that you can post comments on this video, asking questions, and then I will answer them next week. So let's get started. Okay, Matthew Killer 3000 asks, do you agree that Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, and Metal Gear Solid are the only games that are classic because they go way back to the late 1980s? Well, if you want the short answer, no, I do not agree at all. If you want the long answer, no, I don't agree at all because, well, if you're just gonna judge classic games by when they're released, and if you're just gonna judge them in the late 1980s, there are plenty of game series that are still going on from, I'd say, even 1970s even. So there's there's so many more than that, and I actually think out of Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, and Metal Gear Solid, I would probably consider Final Fantasy the only actual classic game series because one, judging by your criteria, Resident Evil wasn't actually released in the 1980s. It was actually released in 1996, I want to say. So yeah, and also Metal Gear Solid, while Metal Gear 1 and 2 did come out in the 1980s ish kind of, um I wouldn't actually consider either of them to be classics for the sole reason that they really weren't very popular, except in Japan, really. So it's kind of like I'll consider a classic game to be a game that has I don't know what you would the word for it. It has popularity everywhere, really. So, and the NES version of Metal Gear was very suckish. But I would agree that Final Fantasy is a classic game series, but I just say that there's so many more. There's Wolfenstein, um, Ultimo, Mario, so many more. Really, there's I could just sit here forever and name game series that, from your criteria, would be considered classic. So yeah. Okay, Phriendship asks, would you rather get killed in front of your family or have your family killed in front of you? Well, I would probably choose to be killed in front of my family because, for the reason being, it's less people dying, and like if my family was killed in front of me, generally, like, I'm gonna assume that, okay, there's a killer, right, and he kills my family. I'm just here. I'm weak and defenseless. The killer's probably gonna kill me as well. But let's say the killer kills me, then my family's still there. That's like a bunch. That's like a group of people, so they can just gang up on the killer and try to take him down. And also, I think that I would, I would really hate it to see. Yeah, like I would much rather die than see my family just get slaughtered in front of me. So yeah. MySillySounds asks, if vegetarians eat vegetables, what do humanitarians eat? They eat a little bit of human with vegetables for dessert. Killzstuff asks, dogs or cats? I would probably say dogs for the reason being I've never had a cat, but I have had dogs, so I have more I don't know. I have more experience. That's it. Yeah, that's the word. Okay, I have another question somewhere. Um, it's like on one of my actual Let's Play videos. Need to find it. Okay, Okay, I'm just gonna cut this out while I'm looking for it. Okay, so Killzstuff also asks, what school do you go to, and is it college or high school? Well, I won't tell you what school I go to because then I'm gonna assume that you're gonna be stalking me. But I go to high school. I'm a senior in high school. And finally, this is gonna be a long question probably. Ruby 1992 asks, Liquid, what are your thoughts on global warming and the government's approach to it, and is there anything you think they can do to improve it more? Well, with something like global warming, you can't really. There's really nothing that the government can really ultimately do to make it any better. Like, if okay, let's say there's someone in the morning doing their hair and they have like a big can of hairspray, and basically they spray a bunch of it and stuff like that. There's really nothing that you can do, the government can do, to really just keep them from just spraying so much hairspray that it really just like fucks up the environment. Like, it's not like you can just have like a secret government agent like hiding behind like a door or something like that, and like if the person uses too much hairspray, they'll jump out and like arrest them and like or something like that. They can't really, yeah. So like it really to prevent something like global warming, it really would have to come down to the individual and not the government and stuff like that. So like, yeah. But the thing about global warming is most people don't really like know this, but we are currently technically in like a glacial period, or like a semi ice age technically, because there are glaciers in the world. There are like and stuff like that. So we are technically still in an ice age. So, and the Earth's temperature each year, actually, I'm not actually sure if this is entirely true, but I've been told this by many people, like teachers at school and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go on a limb and hope this is true. But the temperature of the Earth actually decreases each year. So what the global warming really does is it's not really heating up the climate of the Earth or anything, but it's more really just destroying the atmosphere really. So I would say that naming it global warming really isn't an accurate thing to name it. So yeah, that was kind of like a little tangent though. But my thoughts on like some big apocalyptic thing like that though, like if global warming happened or so people pretty much the whole theory that if global warming continues to happen, people will eventually won't really be able to live much longer. The water will all be gone and stuff like that. Basically, my thought on it is, I would much rather die with the rest of humanity than like die and know that humanity's still going on. So if that makes sense, like I don't want to die knowing that technology's still advancing and that people are still making discoveries and all this type of stuff like that. So if global warming does happen to take us all, I wouldn't really be. I would much rather have that than like just to die normally and have civilization and humanity still living on. That might sound kind of selfish, but oh well. But hopefully that answered the question. Hopefully. So anyway, um post your questions on this video and I'll answer them next week. So, yeah, liquid out.